Welcome everybody, I'm Caleb.
I'm Dave.
Today we're up here at Benezette, just about half mile outside of Benezette, doing the Elk Trail. It's not very long, it's only like 17 miles or so, but it's a beautiful late September Saturday here, probably 45 degrees. Really cool, finally getting into some actual fall weather. We just got here to the trailhead. We've already seen 6 elk on the half-mile drive up this road here to get to the trailhead. So looking forward to it. We've already heard a lot of elk bugling and stuff here in the background. So looking forward to getting out on the trail and really enjoying this trip.
Coming out of Benezette, you start off with kind of a probably a quarter-mile road walk down to Trout Run, we believe it is. I'm gonna lie, it's actually a little chilly this morning down by the stream. We're hoping that will make it nice later in the day.
All right, Dave, why don't you give us a little recap of how you ended up on your butt here with your foot buried under a rock?
Well, I don't like hiking anymore. I was coming in here I don't even know what I was doing. Next thing I know, I'm flinging trekking poles and having a seat.
Trekking poles are over here. Dave's foot buried underneath this rock, but appears to be none the worse for wear.
I sat down pretty gracefully. Graceful as I can be, I guess.
Oh my.
So we're less than a mile in.
And
it's gonna be a good trip.
We break out of the woods and get up onto this road. It's not marked real well, but there's really nowhere else you can go. So I guess we follow this for a while, right, Caleb?
yeah, I'm thinking it looks like it's 4 or 5 miles. I think this is the Thunder Mountain Equestrian Trail, as you can see by all the horse tracks here on the road.
While we're still walking along the trail, I thought it'd be a good time to tell you about our plan for the day. As the Elk Trail is, we've seen a couple different mileages, anywhere from 15.8 to 17. It's a linear point-to-point trail. We didn't feel like bringing 2 vehicles up. And since 17 miles is normally a really short day for us anyway, we started in Benezette. We're gonna walk out to the other trailhead. On the way through, we're gonna find a nice spot to camp. And then once we hit the other end, we're gonna turn around and start back. We have, in the next month, 2 more longer trails planned. We're doing the Black Forest Trail next weekend, and then we're doing the 85-mile Standing Stone Trail later in October. So we kind of wanted to just get out here, get some miles under our belts, get our legs ready for what we have coming up.
Looking forward to getting done with this road walk, that's for sure.
Me too,
What do you think?
Me too.
Just climbed this pretty decent hill back here. It's right around that turn. Wasn't horrible, but
Hills are no fun if there's no vista at the end.
yeah,
That's my big rule about hills.
I completely agree with that. So we're gonna get some water and keep going on this road walk so we can get done with it. So we've been hiking on this little trail here, actual trail, not road, for a little while. It's really come into some open timber. Had a couple deer run out. They went hauling across the trail before we were able to get any video of them, but this section here is really indicative of the area. When a couple years ago when we hiked the Queehana, it was real similar to this. So we were just hammering down the trail here and come up on this whole group of elk. I think there's 3.
4 bulls and a cow.
Doesn't look like any huge bulls, but still nice to Nice to be seeing elk here on the trail. Sun has just come out. This is just beautiful, breaking through the trees. And lo and behold, I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom in and show you. Kind of hard to see. But our elk buddies we ran into when we were out there on the wrong trail are just kind of coming down over the hill here. Let's get down here past them. There we go. There's a good view of them. Yeah. Now they're like, you got to be kidding me. These guys are everywhere.
We do cover some ground, my friends.
Oh. Huh.
There's another one now.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, we only saw 4 before, now there's 5 there. And just kind of want to stay aware when you're dealing with elk that kind of know where there's some trees around if you'd have to get into a situation where you need to get a tree between you and it. But these guys seem okay. They're alright. They got the high ground. They're not overly concerned with us. So hopefully we'll avoid disrupting their day anymore. But so we're going to keep going down this trail and enjoy a well-deserved break. We went ahead and found a place to sit down here at Little Dents Run. Real beautiful area. Give our legs a bit of a break. Found a nice rock to kind of sit down on. Got our butt pads. A little bit of trail mix and some water. In 10-15 minutes here we'll be good to get back on the trail. What'd you say, we're 6.5 miles in, Caleb?
Yep, 6.5 miles.
So we're moving fairly well.
Got about 10 to go before we get to the turnaround point, the end of the Elk Trail, and then we'll turn around and hike it back.
Alright, so we're probably maybe half a mile tops from the road down there that goes right by Little Dents Run. There's a little campsite right here. So I figured we'd show you guys. Be a little tight. Probably get a tent right in there and maybe some hammocks up in there. But definitely better for hammocks right here than, I mean, maybe if you had a one-man tent, maybe 2 people with one-man tents could fit in here. But other than that, it's a beautiful little area. Got some glacial boulders up here and this beautiful little stream with this waterfall. So hopefully we can find someplace similar to camp tonight.
We just want to take a minute to give thanks to whoever is out here with a chainsaw taking care of things like this. Because I gotta tell you, if I had to crawl through whatever this looked like before, it probably would have destroyed my will to continue for a while. So remember, if you ever see the people out there with their chainsaws hiking them back through the woods, make sure you give them a great big thank you, because they deserve it.
Alright, so we just started to descend this pretty significant hill. We were up on top there after Little Dents Run. We're just coming across it, and it was very nice, but then we started to descend at a pretty good clip here. We're coming down to a little stream that feeds into actual Dents Run. Can't really see it on the map, it's cut off, it just says run, but hopefully it's coming across on film halfway is decent. The difference between me and Dave He's not very far behind me, so this is a pretty decent descent or ascent if you're coming from the eastern trailhead. Alright, so right at the bottom of that hill, for those that are interested, there's a little campsite here. It's got some nice seating. Actual camp spots are pretty darn scarce. You could probably squeeze a couple, 2 small tents up there, and you could put one right here. Looks like there were some people staying here not too long ago, because there's a little bit of firewood there. And you could sling a couple hammocks around in here. So, this beautiful stream right here. Not 100% sure what it's called, but it's be really nice to camp by. And another successful crossing. Excellent. Just drop down here onto a road, but right beside it, where this water's coming down, there's an old spring house. You can see the stone stacked in there, hopefully. And it has a pipe, so it's actually a pipe spring here. We found a place along this road. There's a cabin back there, if you can see it. But we thought this was a nice place to sit down and have lunch. It's, what is it, 1:30, Caleb?
Yep, 1:30.
Yeah, right around 1:30. So I got my Spam sandwich I'm gonna have, some crackers, raisins, gummies, and a Jif granola bar. And then I always mix up a container of water with Propel and then one with an energy mix. This is kind of what we've been walking through for a while here. You know, we came out onto some old logging roads and railroad grades. Really made up some time. Really get ripping on something flat and level like that. Then it got into more of this dense, thicker kind of brush. There's actually kind of like a tunnel walking through here. So this terrain we've been in here probably the last half hour or so has really sped us up. See, we're getting into some more open stuff now. Alright, so we're just doing some road walking here. Pretty aggravated at the lack of blazing on the road walk. Really easy to keep it adequately blazed, but they weren't putting a blaze but about every quarter mile or so, so we were kind of wondering whether we were on the right track or not, but we know we are now. This is pretty neat. This is just off the road here. A water hole they by the Game Commission put in here for the elk. So that's pretty neat. Never seen anything like this before. Alright, so we're descending down here to the eastern trailhead of the Elk Trail, and we've got this nice big tree that's right on the trail.
The one tree they haven't chopped out of the way.
It is the one tree they haven't chopped out of the way. And it's almost like it's hard to get to, except we turn this way and right here is the road. It is a solid 30 yards off the road. And there goes Dave. Oh my goodness. Almost taking me out, but we're gonna
watch yourself. Be aware of your surroundings.
So we're gonna head down here to the trailhead, rest for 5-10 minutes, then turn around and do it all again. This is Bear Hollow. That is Little Bear Run that we just came across. And we come over here, and there's the parking area for the eastern trailhead, for the Elk Trail. Alright, we just got done filtering a bunch of water. We are well and truly cameled up. I've got 6 liters of water. Dave, how many liters you got?
5.
5 liters. So we should certainly have plenty to get us through the night. Now usually we don't prefer to dry camp. We usually like to try to find a campsite that's at least near some water, but just the terrain of this trail just didn't really lend itself to that. So we could have camped back there and been fairly close to the water, but we want to try to rip it. It is 5:30. We'd like to just try to get another 1.5 miles or so knocked off of the trail today. That way it'll save us a little bit of time tomorrow. Should be able to start earlier tomorrow too, which will be a big help. Alright, so we found our campsite for the night. Clear spot we could find where there's room for me with my hammock and for Dave with his tarp tent.
I just wanted to show you real quick my sleeping bag right after I pulled it out of the bag. You know, it was in a stuff sack all day. I didn't have it in a compression strap or a compression bag. I didn't need that much extra space on this trip. I'll just take this, and then after it kind of repuffs up, I'll show you what it looks like again, just so you can see how much a down bag really will compress and then come back to loft.
Alright, so we got home for the night. Decided against putting the tarp up. I'm just going to leave it up in the snake skin. If it would start to drizzle, I can put it down real fast, but we've got a pretty good spot here. Have a decent view of the sky, so if there is any stars out tonight, we'll be able to see them, and it'll just be nice camping out in the open air. So my setup here is a War Bonnet Blackbird XLC hammock. I'm really pleased with this. Been using it for several years now. And the most recent addition to my setup here is an actual top quilt. I have been using a sleeping bag for quite some time. This is a Hammock Gear Burrow 20 degree. It's probably a little bit overkill for most of the conditions we're out in, but we've had several times out on the trail where it actually gets about 10 degrees or so colder than what we're expecting and dips down into the upper 20s, and the 30 and 40 degree sleeping bags just don't cut it and you don't sleep real well. So I just opted the extra couple ounces is worth it for the comfort for me. So this will be the first night sleeping with it. It's supposed to get down into the low 40s, so we should be able to test it out here fairly decent and see how that goes. Looking forward to using the top quilt. It should be a lot easier than having to try to clamber in and out of a sleeping bag, which was kind of being a pain. It was okay, you can manage it for a while. I've done that for a couple years now, hammock camping, but finally splurged and got the top quilt. So looking forward to trying that out.
So this is my setup, my current setup. I recently switched from a bivvy here to this tarp tent. This is the Tarp Tent Pro Trail. Just have a cheap ground sheet underneath it. And inside, hopefully you can see how much more loft the sleeping bag has in it now. This is the Sierra Designs Cloud 20. It's a really neat product. It took me years to find a sleeping bag that I really liked. I was using an Ozark Trail bag from Walmart, put hundreds of miles on it, just because I couldn't justify spending the money on a down bag for the products that I was finding.
So tonight on the menu for me, I got some Mexican rice and some chicken. And I got a couple tortillas to eat just with it. What do you got to eat tonight, Dave?
Hold on and I'll show you.
Got some water going toward the boil right now.
I have some loaded nacho cheese mashed potatoes. Gonna add a packet of pepperoni to it. And I also have flatbread in there to just kind of sop everything up with.
Alright, so we got my water to a boil. Got my little cook pouch here. I'm gonna get everything stirred up real nice and then close this flap and let it sit for a while and rehydrate all the rice. I think we're able to hear a couple bull elk in the distance here bugling, so that's nice. I don't know if one gets going here pretty close, we'll try to get it on camera. Hopefully the audio will pick it up, but not, we'll just kind of chill out here and enjoy the fire and get ready to take on tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It's about 6:30. Got the bear bag down. Got some breakfast here. It wasn't too cold last night. Didn't get real cold with the 20-degree bag, but it's probably in the 40s here this morning. The sky was super clear last night, so we were able to see some stars from our campsite here, and at one point the moon was directly overhead. You could almost see this whole clearing. It was really neat, and we were able to hear some elk bugling in the distance, so that was really nice. So we're gonna get breakfast going here. Just a Pop-Tart and granola bar and tea for me. I'm not gonna bother cooking oatmeal or anything this morning, and get packed up and get moving on the trail.
We're finally packed up and getting ready to get moving here. We're going to go out into some fields, and we're hoping there's a few elk out this morning already.
Alright, so we're walking along here. Spy out in front of us. It's a pretty nice buck. Here we've got a cow elk standing on the road, right on the trail. I felt pretty confident we were going to see an elk this morning. Glad we were right. What this trail lacks in vistas and neat terrain, it
Right there.
sure makes up for in wildlife. Yep, right here's a bull. Real nice bull. Not super stoked about being right out here in the middle of this road. But he's moving off. That's good.
There's some deer down there too.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of wildlife right on this turn. There's a cow, at least a couple cows right down over the bank here. They're probably going to come up and cross the road. Yep, right there goes one. Two. Guess we just got two there. And down here to the left, 2 or 3 deer. There's some deer. Again, this trail is just chock full of wildlife. I can say pretty confidently I've never seen this many animals on a trail before. Usually we might run into one deer or a turkey or something, but this is just unbelievable. And let the stream crossing begin for the second time. It was a solid 44 degrees last night, so the water is quite invigorating, as you could imagine. Here comes Dave. Just getting started. And we're out. And Dave made it. Ow! Success.
We just got done with the biggest climb of the trail. Figure it's around 600 feet. It's fairly gradual. It's nothing too bad. The trail is actually really nice there. There's some places on this trail where it gets real narrow, but that wasn't one of them.
This is just a beautiful section of trail right here. Just came up out of that draft where we saw those 5 bulls yesterday. Just beautiful open timber. Sun glistening through the trees and off the ferns. Nice little stream right down here. This is just a gorgeous section to be able to walk through. Okay, so we're back on the road walk section. Just after the trailhead, when you start at Benezette, there's probably maybe a mile of actual trail, and then you get onto these, kind of these roads that a lot of people utilize for horseback riding. They come up here and trail ride, which is nice. I'd say, what do you think, Dave? Probably the first third of the trail is probably like this.
Yeah,
or it's got a lot of road walking, but it's not too bad, especially right now, because it makes it really easy to just be able to rip the miles off. And we are highly motivated to get back to Benezette and find a place to get a big old burger and chow down, replace a lot of the calories that we lost here the past 2 days hiking. But overall, the weather and stuff, we couldn't ask for any better. Just beautiful temperatures, no precipitation in any way. So we're really looking forward to polishing off this trail and just enjoying the rest of this journey.
For anybody planning to hike this trail, in July, August or something, more of the summer months, one thing to keep in mind is that through these couple of miles where you're doing an awful lot of road walking, it's really nothing but open canopy. So you'll have to worry about taking steps to protect yourself from the sun, making sure you have enough water. Because if you don't, by the time you get done with it, you'll just wish you did.
All right, who's excited about being done road walking?
This guy.
Me too. Finally made it back to the actual trail. I think we probably only have about a mile or so before we make it back to the trailhead where we started yesterday. Coming down to the end of the trail, and beautiful little section right here along Trout Run. Really nice to end the trip on. Alright everybody, well that'll about do it for our start to end to start hike of the Elk Trail, starting at the western terminus, hiking to the eastern terminus, and then back. Overall I'd say it was a pretty good trip. What do you think, Dave?
Great, we couldn't have had any better weather.
Yeah, the weather was phenomenal, and fortunately we were able to do exactly what we came here to do, and that was to see elk, which is obviously the highlight, main draw of this trail. So we were able to see good many elk, lots of bulls, a lot of deer. Overall, the trail was just packed full of wildlife, which was awesome. A little short on vistas and maybe some interesting sections, just doing a lot of the road walking, but overall, definitely a good trail. And definitely a great trail for us to do here as we train to get ready for the Black Forest in the coming weeks. So we're looking forward to that. So with that, we'll leave you guys, and please get outdoors, have fun, and stay safe out there. Till next time, see you later.